There we are. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Here we are. Um, Welcome to Sunday Night Live. Welcome to Monday Morning Live. And it's almost good. Um, so there you all are. Let's see. Uh, no, I have not heard of uh, Lang, uh, Ellen Langer. Huh. Oh, it's not always right. Like with the base 10 number system. Base 10 number system, 1 plus 1 is 2. You mean with maybe let's say the base 1. Okay, anyway, good. So welcome everyone, and I can't quite get this. I mean, uh, let's get this here. Welcome to Sunday night chaos. Here I am, chaosing it all. Uh-huh. Anyway, I guess this is as good as we're gonna get. Kind of a bummer. Anyway, good morning and good evening. Welcome to Sunday Night Live, Monday Morning Live, live on planet Earth, and here we are. It has begun. Um, Got to get that up there. That up there. There we go. Okay, good. So now I can see everything sort of, and we're in good shape. Okay, now just as a reminder, the Instagram, I can't get that right. I can't get that picture right. I'm sorry. Um, is there any other way to do this? I don't think so. Anyway, let's keep it at that. Um, so let me remind you of the format. The format is I'm going to answer questions that have been previously submitted for the first hour, and then we're going to go on to questions that arise spontaneously. Um, and that's it. That's how we're going to do it. And let me see something here. Bear with me a minute, please. Uh, I don't know how to. I don't know what I'm doing here. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Anyway, we're here. We are. And here you are. Here we are. Okay. All right. So let me get into the questions. And another reminder is that um, as you know, this is every Sunday night, but we have because I can't really interact with you. The our discussions are limited. So um, if you join the groups, which is why I formed the groups, so that we could have actual interactions, and because on those I do some teaching, and then we do some question and answers based on that, or based on anything you have questions you want. And there's 3 layers of groups. There's the CFC group, which meets twice a week, the parasite group, which meets once a week, and the health and healing group, which meets every other week. Um, and all of them have access to the webinars that I've done and things like that. And then also on Tuesdays, there's um, a meeting like this with all of you, and it's with Vanessa and Darren. Darren is a kinesiologist, physiologist who specializes in kinesiology, and then there is Vanessa, who's a health coach and person extraordinaire. She health coach, yoga instructor, meditation instructor, a uh, nutritionist. Anyway, she's a really smart lady, and she's been with me many years now, just as Darren has. So those will be on that day, and then there's going to be twice a month. We're going to be having a fellow named Tenzin on, who's a former monk with the Dalai Lama, just to help us learn how to get out of our minds for a chance, for change, for a little while. Yeah. Now, if you have active CFCs right now, or someone in your family has active CFCs right now, as you know, I'm located one place, and you may be located anywhere in the world. So if you're anywhere near the U.S., my clinic is still there. It's an Oasis of Healing. It's in Arizona. It's in our 21st year now, and we have a complete program. From the way you breathe to the way you go to the toilet, and everything in between. Eating, teaching you how to eat, what to eat, how to prepare it, and anyway, all of that. Including all the standard things that you'll have in any really good integrative oncology center, which includes IVs, vitamin C, ozone, um, uh, hyperthermia, local and systemic, and on and on and on. So that's pretty much it. But it's more, I view it more as a school, because you go there to learn. You go there to be inspired. You go there to get the tools to live your life so that you don't develop this again. Because as we all know, it's sometimes not that difficult to get rid of CFCs, but the extremely difficult thing is to keep them away. And that's what our goal is. So that's that. So please join us. Just call 480-834-5414. That's our phone number, and it's been that one since day one. 480-834-5414. So because it's a crazy time when you get this kind of, someone tells you have this situation, and it's really important that you have the right guidance, and that's what we offer. We also offer over there is regardless of your situation, it doesn't have to be CFCs, just to get well. How do I clean up and get well and function best? Because I want to be around for a while. So that's the other part. All right. Yeah. So let's get started. As you know, we're on X and TikTok. We're at Dr. Thomas Lodi, MD, MD. No, it's just one MD. And then all the rest, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, blah, blah, blah. We're at Dr. Thomas Lodi with no MD. All right. Cool. And you should like, follow, share this live, and subscribe to our channel so you'll receive notifications every time we go live or post something. Yep, that sounds good. Shall we get into it? All right, the first one is Nick, and the subject is fasting. The question: does prolonged fasting help repair optic nerve damage associated with glaucoma? Well, prolonged fasting actually, let's see if we can try this here. Excuse me. That might help a little bit. And then, wait, I'm coming back. Does that help a little bit on Instagram? Okay, sorry about that. Okay, so with prolonged fasting, let's just review that for a moment here. With prolonged fasting, we mean, you know, uh, more than 14 days, probably at least 21 days. And for this kind of thing, with nerve damage, probably at least 30 days. But it's not something you just jump into. You've got to really prepare for it and be ready for it. You've got to be, nourished enough to be able to carry yourself through with enough internal fat stores and things like that. But the book I wrote, Therapeutic Fasting: A Clinical Manual for uh, a clinical manual for metabolic reset and renewal. Right, you can get it on Amazon. Um, is basically a workbook. It's like check things off. Am I doing this? Am I doing that? And there's charts in there how to monitor yourself. So if you're doing all of that and you find out that you are actually eligible, because you have to, there's certain reasons why you can't fast. And but if all of that is all right, then that'll help you. It'll guide you through it. So every day you're going to know how am I doing? You'll be able to assess yourself and all that. So with regards to healing tissues, eliminating, what happens after day 10 or 11 is that the body sort of goes and focuses on the non-essential tissues that are not part of the whole physiology, that are not required. And so if you've got a serious situation going on, 21 days is going to give you 10 to 11 days of that part of it. And 30 days will give you longer. So the longer you do it. So now we can't always do it. We can't always do a fast that long the first time. Sometimes we can. In fact, I remember my first fast was probably the easiest. They're much easier now. But that's because I've become acquainted with this earth suit that I'm inhabiting right now, and I kind of know what's going on, and I know what to expect, and I just for me to get past day 3 or 4, I'm now just a non-eater. I'm no longer, yeah. And so most likely with optic nerve damage. So the damage is most likely, compression and inflammation, right? So the compression from the glaucoma has caused inflammation of the optic nerve. And that inflammation will diminish once there's no longer any inflammation going on there. And that's what has to happen. And how does that happen? That means that the glaucoma has to be resolved, number one. And then the repair will take place during a fast. At D, I take it in an hour. I take the questions in an hour. Okay. Now, yeah, so that's the answer to that. That's how that works. You got to be able to do it. So you might wind up doing, let's say, a 21-day fast the first time, and then maybe and then you'll eat. You'll refeed properly. That's why you definitely have to read that book. You'll refeed properly, because refeeding, meaning if you've been without food at all for at least 3 weeks, now your gastrointestinal system is almost pretty much a brand new system, and hasn't been used yet. The pancreas hasn't been producing enzymes, and the borders of the small intestine are unused, and the biliary system is not working. So all that stuff needs to be broken in slowly. All right, and it has to be broken in appropriately. So that's what the refeeding is all about. So you do the refeeding, and then you eat healthy, real food, human food. And if you're not sure what that is, when you join the groups, you have access to a webinar I did, a 3-part webinar I did on the human diet. So look at that, and then you eat healthy, you eat human food for, let's say, at least a month, and then you can do then you can try 30 days. So, and remember, everybody's fasting experience is a personal one. And let's say your aim is for 30 days, but you won't. By the time you get to day 19, you're just saying, "I can't." You're just extremely uncomfortable. Then it's time for you to break the fast, do the refeeding, and pat yourself on the back. You did fantastic, and then then you'll go on the next time. All right. Good question, Megan. Why aren't my live stream being uploaded on the podcast anymore? So, Hammy, please bring that to the attention of whoever needs to, and let's get that done immediately. We have a lot of past ones we need to get up there. I'm not sure if that is, I think, a combination of Shota and Beam. All right, so that's what we do with the optic nerve. We got to get the glaucoma fixed. Okay, number two is Lori. It's also on fasting. Um, how do I find a reasonably priced doctor to monitor a prolonged fasting of 47 days? How safe is it to do without doctor supervision? What type of detailed supervision is needed if I feel okay? What type of tests? Okay, so Lori, apparently you haven't read the book that I just mentioned, therapeutic fasting. It's available on, I have to say it, it's available on Amazon. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how that bothers me, but how else do you publish nowadays? Jeez, they've taken over, you guys. They've taken over. So anyway, yeah, so it's available on Amazon, and you can go to our webpage too, drlodi.com again. But anyway, so I go over everything you're asking, and 4 to 7 is not a long fast. You can do that. You could probably do that without knowing all this, but now you must know this stuff. You must know how to prepare, because I don't know your condition, right? And you have to know whether or not you're able to to do it. So yeah, please do that. Okay, check that out, Lori, right away. Go to Amazon and put in. Oh, by the way, if you put in Dr. Lodi and fasting, you'll find my book, Therapeutic Fasting. That's it. That's it. There's other books as Dr. Lodi's Fasting, Water Fasting, Dr. Lodi's Parasite Cleanse. That's not me. It's not me. That's because we live in such an incredibly world filled with brotherhood and all that. So, and it's true. Now, here's another. Oh, here's second question. Same person. How long can I do a prolonged water only fasting 3 to 6 days before I harm my body? Getting no supplements and nutrition. I take quality multivitamins and on an empty stomach. And are they enough for this time frame? Would you please email me this response because I missed the live stream? Well, I'm sorry if you missed the live stream, Lori. What you might want to do is just join our health and healing group. Go to drlodi.com, drlodi.com. Maybe we can have Hammy or somebody write your email in case you're missing this, but hopefully it's going to get uploaded. Just to tell you that to join the group or and to get the book. All right. Now, you don't need vitamins and supplements. You don't worry about your nutrition. This is a time of fasting. Believe me, we have plenty of resources in our body, internal resources, and that's what we do. We change the external sourcing of fuel, etc., to internal sourcing, and then physiology is on its own, unhampered, and it's divine. It's divine. So as long as you have enough fat and visceral fat, the fat around your organs, if you have enough of that, you'll be carried through, and that's why you'll have a ketone meter and a glucose meter, and you'll know how to manage this. All right. So yes, you don't. There's enough storage, because remember, our bodies are designed to not eat as well as to eat, right? Because in nature, if you look around at nature, there's no animal that eats 3 meals a day or 8 meals a day every day. They might eat for a few days and then not eat for a day or 2 or 3 or 5 because they can't find any food. So intermittent fast, that's intermittent fasting. Fasting is 24 hours. It's not, eating once a day. That's just caloric restriction, or it's, what do they call it? Time interval fasting or something like that. That's not fasting. It's just eating healthy. Uh, the but so fast is 24 hours because that's when the whole fasting physiology really kicks in. So fasting is 24 hours, and so intermittent fasting would be I fast perhaps maybe 1 day a week or 3 days a month, or I fast on weekends, or that's intermittent fasting. All right. Yeah, and let's show a picture of the book so that people can know about that as well, because I've mentioned it a few times. There we go. Oh, I'm gonna hide behind that book so you can't see me. I am this book. This book is me. No. All right. Thank you. There we go. Better side. Um, so there, don't worry, Laura. You don't take vitamin. You don't take anything. The only thing you'll take is if you have a medication you're on that is something you can't quit. And I go into all that um, because if you are on medications, we wanted to go through a period of weaning, as if possible, medically supervised, um, and then yeah, all right. So intermittent fasting, everybody, is fasting on different days. One day is a fast. When people say I've been doing intermittent fasting, eating twice a day, that's not intermittent fasting. Because let me ask you something. Then that would mean if I ate breakfast and then I fasted until lunch and then I fasted till dinner, is that intermittent fasting? No. Oh, if I remove the breakfast, is that it? Oh, okay, that's it. Ah, you're not fasting. Your whole fasting physiology hasn't kicked in yet. All right. And that's what you need. So you need to get up to 24 hours. Now you're into a fast, because probably by then your ketones are starting to go up. You're switched gears. So, however, eating the other thing is that eating the right healthy way is to eat nutrient dense food in a 4 to 6 hour period. Four is better. 4 to 6 hour period with not eating 18 to 20 hours. So if you let's say you're doing that and you need to stop eating 5 hours before sleep and you need to go to bed by 9, and if you've been listening to me for a while, you'll know why. If not, I'll touch on that later. Join the groups, you'll find out right away. But so let's say you're going to go to bed at 9, you're going to stop eating 5 hours, that's 4. Put your fork down at 4, and you can eat again at 10. It's not that bad. And then believe me, you can eat a lot during that time. And that's when you eat healthy food. Now that's a healthy way to eat. And then what does that do? That you'll get into ketosis, you'll stay there for a while. You'll get a lot of really good changes. You'll be kind of resetting yourself slowly and metabolically, and a lot of excellent things happen. There's a lot of research on it. Okay, Ruby, chemotherapy. Hi, Dr. Lodi. My mom is dealing with her fourth. Ruby, it's CFC. There's no astrological signs in your mom. Okay, it's chronically fermenting cells. She is 72 and around 120 pounds. She feels a serious radiation treatment on her thyroid as a preteen. Wow, as a preteen, contributed to her CFC occurrence. Ovarian with chemotherapy 1987, colon with surgery 13 years ago, breast and surgery 4 years ago, and now possible recurrence of colon with surgery and chemotherapy. She had a colon tumor removed a few weeks ago that doctors think might be related to her appendix CFC from 13 years ago. Lymph node was positive after surgery, and she began FOLFOX chemo, which includes, I know that it was last week, for 3 to 6 months treatment. She suffered major nerve problems from previous chemotherapy from her treatment in 1987. Now she's having double vision and blurry distance vision starting 4 days after the dose of chemotherapy. How can she best manage or ease the nerve damage, neuropathy, and vision side effects from the chemotherapy? Also, what nutritional support? Okay, do I recommend around FOLFOX? All right, thank you, Ruby. So, number one, she's been led astray. She's been on a all the treatments you're talking about that they call treatments, all the things that they've done to her have ensured that it's going to continue. There's no way it can stop. If you keep following them, it's over. All right. I don't know if I should say that, but I have to say, you know why I have to say it? Because it's true. That's why. Can't think of another reason to say something. Is there another reason to say something? No, there's not another reason. Oh, maybe you're telling a joke. But other than that, and this is not a joke. All right, and Fullfox, 5-FU oxaliplatin and 5-FU. 5-FU oxaliplatin. What's the other one? No, I can't remember. 5-FU oxaliplatin. Ah, that may be it. Yeah. Anyway, and then they have Fulfuri, which has the irinotecan and all that. But all those drugs, just look them up. Go in whatever search engine is your favorite. Go into there, put that, and look for it now. And look for I'll put in this. Put in chemotherapy exacerbated breast. I have to say breast cancer. A paradox, blah, blah, blah. Just put that in and that'll come up. And it's breast, but it doesn't matter because it's the same thing. Because they've done the same studies with lung, whatever it is. Because remember, the only difference between having breast CFCs, ovarian CFCs, colon CFCs, pancreatic CFCs is the first word. The first word is location. The second word is what's going on. It's the metabolic process that's going on. So that doesn't change. So no one has a type of CFC. You have a location from which the CFCs began. And the cells will kind of do the stuff that will have the same sort of capabilities that it had as a breast cell, as a whatever. All right. So it doesn't matter. And they switch. All these drugs are shared by so if you get the manual for the oncologist use, you'll see that if you look breast, colon, they're all pretty much the same. And just read that and try to find some other ones. You'll find out that it's extremely damaging. So Ruby, you and/or your mother should join the CFC group to get some guidance through this because she needs guidance. All right. First of all, let's look at the fact that she's had several what I guess have been biopsy proven to be CFCs arising from different locations, right? She had the thyroid, the colon, the breast. What was the other one? Ovarian. I mean, okay. And so now it's in the appendix. Well, the appendix is part of the colon. It's in the first part of the colon. But anyway, it doesn't matter. But in other words, especially if it's not something it's not like the thyroid metastasized all these places, then it'd be one primary with many metastatic sites. But if it's not that, if you actually have biopsy proven thyroid cells with CFCs, ovarian cells, in other words, they're really different tissues of origin, then that tells us even more that says an extremely toxic system. Because remember, this is all going to happen. CFCs arise because of accumulated toxicity around cells, which knocks out the most vulnerable part of a cell, which is the mitochondria, the energy-making parts of a cell, and then the cell has to change operating systems in order to survive, so it starts fermenting. All right, so if that's happening, okay, let's say, well then, therefore, I got to get rid of the toxins so I don't keep doing this, and that's where that whole part of the program comes in from. Juice cleanse, fasting, whichever one is appropriate for you, and then proper food, when to eat, how to prepare, balancing hormones, balancing your nervous system, balancing your gastrointestinal system, balancing your immune system. Yeah. All those things are necessary. All right. And then, so by doing that, you're going to stop initiating it. Now, the second part that you want to do is learn how do I target these and not harm the healthy cells. And then we got to wake up the immune system. So absolutely, if she does all this, she'll be fine. But right away, okay, it's real simple. You said 4 days ago she got the first dose of this final protocol she's on, and she has now having eye problems. Then stop that immediately. It's because it's not going to help. What's it going to do? It's going to make the whole process continue and make it worse. I don't just say these things. If we had a closed Zoom and I could share the screen, I would show you all that why I'm saying this, all the detailed research. By the way, never trust another doctor for the rest of your life. If a doctor tells you something, say, "Thank you very much, doc. That was fantastic. Now, can you share with me the research you read that helped you come to that conclusion?" Right? With me and me too. Now we're talking about Dubravka. Right? Chronic topic is chronic diarrhea. I had many tests. They don't know why I have diarrhea every day. I've tried many diets, but nothing seems to work. I fast and have tried parasite cleanse. Thank you. Well, Dubravka, you say you fasted on water because that's the only fast. Water is the only fast. Anything else is a diet. If you're doing a green juice cleanse, not a fast cleanse, you're getting lots of nutrition. So it's basically you're on a liquid diet. So if you're taking any nutrients in, that's not a fast. All right. So now, if you did that for 4 or 5 days, 6 days, a week, you couldn't have diarrhea. And also one of the things I recommend in preparation for fasting is to do some enemas and just clean yourself out so that you can enter the fast and get right into fasting physiology. All right. So that's so I'm not sure what you're saying. So if someone has diarrhea, what is diarrhea? Diarrhea is just an increase in the frequency of bowel movements, right? It's not the definition is not any more elaborate than that, but it can have many causes. The cause can be because the food you're eating has a lot of what they call osmotically active substances in it, particles in it, that are pulling water from your body, and it's watery and not being absorbed. It can also mean that you have a rapid peristalsis. The movement is. It can also mean that there's some microorganism in there that's colonizing and causing problems. It could also mean that you've ingested a poison of some sort. And a lot of times microorganisms will be, for example, if you're at a picnic and you leave your food and your food's out for 2, 3, 4 hours, 5 hours, especially things like mayonnaise, like that, the microorganisms in there produce these toxins. So when you eat it, you don't get sick from the microorganism colonizing. You get sick from the products that they produced. That one you usually know about like within an hour or two after eating. The other, if it's a microorganism, maybe take 24 hours or something. So yeah, there's different types. So in order to resolve that, you've got to understand, what it is. Now, but what resolve them all is by thoroughly cleaning out your gastrointestinal system, right? Pre-fast enemas and then a real fast. You could probably even do it with a really good prolonged juice feast. So you prepare that way, and then you do the fast, and what'll happen is the lining of your whole gastrointestinal system, like the rest of your body, but the lining of your whole gastrointestinal system will uh, the, the old and not working very well, the worn out cells will be replaced with new ones. So you're basically going to give yourself a new gastrointestinal system. Because you're not feeding the system at all, it will, the microorganisms, the relative proportions of microorganisms will begin to get into a healthy relative proportion. Because of the way we eat, we are feeding preferentially this group and that group and that group, and not as much this group. So that's what's called a dysbiosis. So dysbiosis is something that we don't have to go anywhere. In fact, going anywhere to get help is not going to help. It's all with your gastrointestinal system, right? That has to heal. But it's what you eat is what the microorganisms eat. So if I eat cheeseburgers and pizzas and only fast food all day long, well, I'm going to have a certain relative proportions of microorganisms. If I eat only home cooked meals, I'll have another one. If I eat vegetarian, I'll have another one. If I eat vegan, I'll have another one. If I eat only animals, I'll have another different microbiome. And then if I do raw vegan, I'll have even another. So there's all different ways of, I mean, those are just the basic fundamental diets that people eat. And that's what's determined, because remember, anything in the under the biosphere, any living system is that where it is because it's eating. It's found a place to eat, and it's eating. And if there's no food, it's gone. That's why taking probiotics and eating junk, you'll never resolve the issue, because they won't find anything to eat, so they're going to go away. All right, and but that's what has to happen. You have this is just so everyone keep in mind that diarrhea, unless it's caused by like I said, microorganisms or anything like that, or some sort of problem with your autonomic nervous system where you're having an increased peristalsis, or you had surgery, and if there's a reason for you to have an increased peristalsis, or the other ones I talk about, microorganisms, you won't have what's called diarrhea. But so diarrhea is really the end result of, or one of the pathways of the effects of a dysbiosis. Whether it's, you want to call it SIBO, you want to call it celiac, you want to call it ulcerative colitis, you want to call it Crohn's, whatever you want to call it, it's still a dysbiosis somewhere in the system. So that's how it'll happen. All right. And they don't have any tests. But by the way, and this is for everybody, remember, when we're addressing one issue with one person, keep in mind that that's everybody, because we all have the same body here. We all have the same metabolic processes. In fact, we all have the same emotional and psychological needs. We're really, the same. So, but keep in mind, so I often hear, not often, a lot of times here, I've tried that, I've tried it. Okay, you tried that? What do you mean tried it? Did you do it? Okay, Almond. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Okay. Wait. Can't walk up there. You can't walk up there. No. Yeah. All right, Almond. Can't walk up there. He gained weight. Anyway, so I'll find out that someone said, I tried fasting, they fasted for a day or two. Or I tried the vitamin C. You don't try vitamin C, it's just something you need to replace because you're not making any. So there's a lot of misunderstandings when someone says because then they say, oh God, it's hopeless now because I've tried it, it's not working, right? Yeah. Sunday, not here and now, planet Earth, right? Yeah. See, Alman taught me that. I wouldn't know nothing if it wasn't this guy. All right, next one is, we still have time. The next one is Adrian. And the topic is scabies. I'm a 70-year-old woman with a severe case of Norwegian scabies, which has taken over my entire right earlobe. Resistant to treat. Currently, I take ivermectin by mouth and topically, also fenben, praziquantel, tinidazole, and doxycycline for a secondary infection that caused my earlobe to blow up and turn purple. I realize this is a sign of secondary immunodeficiency. Okay, Adrian. Is Norwegian scabies just quickly? I'm wondering, is Norwegian scabies different? Are there Danish scabies and stuff? That I didn't, scabies are scabies, but so scabies, and they're a bummer. They're a bummer. And it's taken over your entire right earlobe. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that scabies don't have boundaries, right? There's not a fence up for them. They're going to keep going. They're not going to stay in your earlobe. They're, now taking ivermectin. So ivermectin is considered the drug of choice, right? And doing it both topically and orally would be, the way to begin. So what I would do if you were in our group, and we could talk, so if you go to drlodi.com and you join the groups, you could, oh, by the way, let me go back here and say, I want to talk to these, I want to address to, okay, to Ruby. Okay, Ruby, we were talking about the chemotherapy and all that. Call an Oasis of Healing, 480-834-5414. Call them, us, and you'll talk to Shannon, and she'll help get you all squared away and find out, because your mom right now is, I don't think there's any way you're going to be able to convince her or whatever, and it's going to be very difficult to find your way through this. So they're waiting. We're waiting. So just give a call just to help you through this. Okay, very important. Okay, so now, so you say your right earlobe. So now I'm assuming that if you had a severe case and it was all over the body and then it went to your right earlobe, it sounds like that. If you're saying a purple enlarged right earlobe, it sounds like you've by scratching it or whatever, some microorganisms have gotten in there and they are colonizing. They found some food and they're eating, and so that sounds like more like what we would I call it a colonization. It's called by the Rockefellers, the Rocky and the gang. They call it an infection. All right, and so so it must be not only swollen, but it must be purple, and painful, and kind of warm. Now, if it's what is known as an abscess, where you get actually like a bubble of pus sort of underneath the skin, those, the only way they are helped is with lacerating. You can just make a small laceration, not you, I mean, or get someone who knows how they're doing, how to do it, that, and then it'll come out, because that, that's the first thing, is to get that out, because that's also putting pressure on the All right, we're back on. What a crazy thing. So the lights went out. I mean, the electricity went off and on. Right. Okay, so we were talking about the right earlobe, and so if it's an abscess, you know, it could just touch it, painful, you know, it has to be opened up. Um, and if it's not, it's just a diffuse, what we would call cellulitis, you know, and itis means inflammation. Um, but it's got, because scabies won't stay within a defined area. They're going to keep moving. That's why they go all over the body. Um, so I'm assuming that's gone, and it's now just, you're now just having a problem in your right ear. So uh, yeah, so I don't know if you have an abscess or not. But if you don't, if you have a diffuse cellulitis, then uh, depends on how you want to take care of it. You can take care of it by doing a thorough juice cleanse, prolonged juice cleanse, making sure you've got the right nutrients for healing, which are, you know, vitamin D, lots of it, vitamin C in the right way, vitamin A, and the different E's. There's different kinds of E's. At least that, and you're eating a healthy diet so that you're well nourished, so that you can deal with this and it can resolve to restore a healthy physiology. Or you can do a water fast. And then, you know, the easy way out is to get an antibiotic. Now, you said you're taking doxycycline, and that would be one of the ones that are, you know, used for skin issues. So anyway, Adrian, so that I can't tell you how to resolve this. So do this. Join the Health and Healing Group. It's easy. drlodi.com. Get on the website and find the Health and Healing Group and join. And then I can talk to you during our sessions, right? Well, specifically, you could show me your ear, because that'll, you know, that helps, you know. So do that. All right. Where okay. Now here's the question. The impact. Okay, here's another question here. Impact of DEXA scan for teenagers. Well, I mean, it's not going to be anything that a teenager can't resolve. Why would you do a DEXA scan on a teenager? You know, unless you have, I mean, you know, those are two. They look at the bone density. It looks at the bone density. If you're teenager, so really, you see, this is the thing. Here's a question, a legitimate, real question, but there are so many variables that I can't answer it. That's why we need to have this dialogue, because I don't understand why you would do that. But just on that, you know, any kind of these scans, you know, except for ultrasound, maybe, we don't know yet, don't really you know, one time of any of these scans, I mean, really, you'll get through it. But you know, you always take, you know, antioxidants before and after, or you've been taking them all the time. You just increase before and during and after, and all that stuff. You just want to mitigate any kind of problems you're getting from it. That's what it is. But really, Kalyani, join the group so I can figure out, I can find out more. And here's a question: how do I detox between radiation treatment or wait until my last 24th session? I'm not sure where you're getting radiated and for what reason. So it's impossible to answer that, which is why if you join the groups, I could find out. But uh, now, okay, just basically everybody keep in mind when they'll say you've got to do 24 sessions or whatever they say. So the only times that I'll ever recommend or someone to have radiation are in situations where you've got a tumor in the brain and it's growing, it's growing too quickly to any other way deal with it, and that will directly shrink it quickly. And so it's life saving. It's on the spine, and that's again life saving. Let's say it's surrounding your femur, the long bone of your leg, and it's about to fracture it. Okay, we don't have time to do anything. All right, so there are times like that, and maybe different bones, but never soft tissue. You never irradiate soft tissue. That means non-bone. You never irradiate non-bone because you will have problems, other problems. Unless, let me, if a tumor is so large and it's about to block off your airway or something like. So there are other situations where we do it. Otherwise, we don't. And when they say 24 or 40 treatments, whatever they say, that's just their protocol. Just like recommending it was their protocol based on the algorithm that handed down by the American Society of Clinical Oncology. And so if you, and same with chemo or any of this stuff, if let's say you find after 3 treatments, after 4 treatments, it's actually shrunk to the point where it's no longer a problem, you can stop and then do all the other things to heal, because sometimes there's an urgent requirement of something like that, but it doesn't mean you have to go through whatever the menu is. You're not a recipe. So detox. So what do you do with radiation? Well, first of all, you've got to be taking the appropriate supplements, eating healthy, all that stuff. That goes without saying, although I have to say it every time. So without saying, it's kind of like when someone says, to make a long story short, they've already gone too far. It's no longer, you can't say that anymore. It should be like, okay, to summarize or something like that. All right. But anyway, you're taking these supplements. So now, during that, so before, during, and after, you can take a melatonin, a high dose of melatonin, up to 240 milligrams, like an hour before you do it. And you're taking, of course, all of your other nutrients and vitamins, and eating right, healthy, normally, just to keep up your physiology. And then after the treatments, you can do some large doses of liposomal sodium ascorbate, which is the preferred way. Liposomal sodium ascorbate is the preferred way of getting vitamin C into you, because you can actually take large doses. So you can do 2 grams 4 times a day, right? If you're taking some sort of power like ascorbic acid, even sodium ascorbate powder, you're limited. You can only waving hand pink. Huh, interesting. Donna, I will be answering it. Is the hour up? The hour is up. Sorry, I will get to it now. I'm just finishing this one. Remember, the first hour is pre-submitted, and now we're going into that. Okay. So in between each one, you'll take large doses of that, and the vitamin E, the tocopherol and tocotrienol mixture, all of those, and the vitamin C and the vitamin D and all that stuff, and you'll be eating healthy and all that. But you can also go to your favorite functional doctor and get intravenous vitamin C after, and not a high dose, like 25 grams over 2 to 3 hours, just so that that low amount will be antioxidant, which is what you want to do, because you want to minimize the damage from free radicals from the radiation. All right, guys, that's it. I'm gonna go over to our spontaneous live questions here and now. Here we are. So Donna, yeah. In fact, did you have a question, Donna? Oh, the phone number, you got the someone already did it, right? 480-834-5414. 480-834-5414. I think it was posted earlier too. There it is. Yeah. All right. So that's it. Oh, so Donna, you're saying what milligram strength of liver and fenben for papillaries, thyroid, CFCs, 3-ACKD, high BP, cholesterol, and more. All right. So just from that, high cholesterol, high BP, and all that tells me that you're toxic, which we know, because if you're having a situation with CFCs, it develops from that. That's the cause. Right? It's not your mother, father, grandmother, sister, uncle. All right. So you're so it sounds like your body. So you need to do what we were saying before. We suggested before is you got to clean up. And Donna, if you're in the U.S., give an Oasis of Healing a call and see if and you'll talk to Shannon and see if we can figure this out. Help you with it, because you have a lot of questions there, and they're completely legit, and I understand it because you've been told you have this and that and this and that, and there's no this and that. We live in a thingless universe. There are no its. Okay, there are no its. There's only us. Anyway, these are all different manifestations of the same underlying process. These are all the different apples on the apple tree, and you can cut off all the apples and you're going to have a new crop. So that's not the strategy for resolution. All right. And but in terms of fenben and all, oh, that's ivermectin, not liver. Strength of ivermectin. All right. So if your liver is, you've done your liver enzymes and you find that you've done a blood test to show your liver enzymes are in the normal range, then you'll do ivermectin. Like the starting standard dose that most people take is like 12 milligrams 3 times a day, and the fenbendazole is 222 milligrams 3 times. It's like a standard. And you might switch to mebendazole. I don't know. Really, they're so close. Anyway, it's just they've done a lot more studies on mebendazoles, but it doesn't matter. Now, on humans, they did the fenben on animals, and for some reason, they decided initially your assumption was fenben animals, meben humans. And so there's no studies. Why? Because you didn't do any studies. There's no studies. There's no studies on what happens to a lizard who eats only fly wings. They go on a fly wing diet. There's no studies on it. There's no data. I can't believe a thing about, right? We got to have a study. All right. So anyway, Donna, best thing is give that a call. And or if you're not, for whatever reason, join the CFC group. Go to drlodi.com, and join the CFC group, because we're going to guide you through this. You can get through this. You can easily. Now, it's easy to comprehend, and the thing is, and it's logical and it works, but it's difficult because we're fighting our minds. Our mind is our enemy. All right. If you ever want to find out what's going on, how come everything's so terrible, you just run into the bathroom, look in the mirror. All right. There it is. All right. And so that we have to get out of our way, right? Okay. And we are our minds are Remember, this brain is a we haven't begun to unlock the potential of this brain. Not even like 10%. But there's no computer that comes close. None, none, none. So you're telling it, whatever you're telling it, it's doing. Let's find another one. Okay, this is Scott, and on chat here, I'm gonna. Okay, I did a water fast for 20 days. I started last Sunday to slowly add juice back into my diet, and CFC has grown, and now I have 100% colon blockage. Been in the hospital since last Wednesday. We've started irradiation to try to prevent the ostomy bag, but we're talking about an ostomy on me at this point. I'm quite scared. Okay, Scott, absolutely, I understand. You're scared, and I really wish you were in the groups because I need to find out what happened. Okay. So now a 20-day water fast won't resolve that level of issue. It's like twice. Um, um, and you're doing juices. So the other thing is too, what I would want to first know is what was your nutritional status when you started the fast? How were you, you know, or so there's a lot of things that I would need to understand. Um, and um, and as I said, that would be not enough time to resolve something like that, a large issue like that. All right. Good. So, oh, by the way, everyone, I'm back. I don't know if you remember, I used to be in this cluttered cave. So here it is, a remodeled cave. It's fantastic. I like this little room now. That's why I was in the other room for a long time. But anyway, it's very comfortable in here. And who do you think? How did this happen? My editor and his wife. Or yeah. So they did it. You know my editor is Lodi, my son. So anyway, good editing, right, you guys, on those reels? Not good editing. I would say the best. That's what I say. Because I know a lot of people used to get bored with my reels. Now they're actually watching them. Good. Anyway, so I really, Scott, you're in the hospital. So, in fact, why don't you get a hold of me? Let's make an appointment real quick. Call write hello@drlodi.com, drlodi.com, or go to the website and book an appointment real quickly. But if you write to hello@drlodi.com, you can talk to my assistant and just tell her that I told you that it's urgent. Get you in there. Let's talk and let me help direct you because I'd like to get you out of there intact and over to Oasis and Oasis Feeling because you're at the point. So that's how now this is a thing when you have an obstruction like that that's completely blocked off your colon. This is the one situation where I would say surgery is indicated. The thing about radiation, like I said, with soft tissue, if you're radiating soft tissue, let's say it shrinks the tumor, but remember the beams of ionizing radiation don't stop at the tumor; they go through, and they scatter, and so all the adjacent tissue is getting irradiated too, and it results in scar tissue and stuff like that. So people who had radiation previously wind up with bowel obstructions and all just it's so in this case, if it's completely blocked it off, then radiation is really not going to do it. And even if it shrinks it down, it's if it's already involving the walls, you still won't have uh, uh, it still won't be patent. So that's where surgery comes in. Now, I know you're trying to say not get an ostomy bag, and well, okay. So if they shrink it down and then you don't get an ostomy bag, then that would be, we say, "Oh, that's okay. I'm willing to take that chance, but just be aware that you're going to get this. You're going to get the never stop coming, never stop going effects of radiation. So what you would do is you would immediately get somebody to bring you in tons of liposomal sodium ascorbate, and all the ones vitamin D, tons of vitamin D, overdose on vitamin D. I don't mean that. Okay. Please, thought police, word police. It was just a joke. I didn't mean it. What I mean by that, I mean with the recommended daily allowances, laughable. All right, as they all are, like 50 milligrams a day of vitamin C. Sure, you won't get end stage scurvy. I mean, your teeth won't start falling out and your eyes won't bleed. However, that's about it, right? So these are the recommended daily allowance, recommended to keep you in the loop. All right, now the optimal is nothing to do with that. So vitamin D is what is the RDA? You take 5,000 units once a week or something absurd like that. No. 30 to 40,000 units a day, and you look at your vitamin D levels, and when you get to about 100, 120, you're great. Not really, but you can, but we won't. I can't advise that, recommend that. But for example, when vitamin D was first became a supplement back in the early 20th century, everybody was taking it around the country in the U.S. And they were taking 15 milligrams a day. And what was noticed by them, the watchers, is that there were less hospital admissions nationwide. And they finally traced it back to that vitamin D. So what they did, we got to make sure people are going to take this much. So, because remember, it's business, right? Medical business, which includes pharmaceutical, surgery, all this. It's a big umbrella. You don't want to get rid of customers, right? There's no business. Do you know any business who spends any effort trying to decrease the number of customers they have? No. So they said, well, let's switch it around. Let's turn milligrams into some unit system, international units. So they made it so that if you took 15 milligrams, it would be the equivalent of about 800,000 units of vitamin D. No one's going to take that. No. My God. That's because they're calling it units. But anyway, just understand that. So you take more of it. It's extremely important. Remember what I said. You want to get up to about 100, 120 in your blood, at least. But get up there. Take 30, 40,000 units a day. And you should do it right. Start out with 50,000. And then you need the vitamin, all these other things. You've got to start doing that and start getting healthy. When you get out of the hospital, we've got to do some other cleansing, okay? And it sounds like you're already doing. Look, if you like jumped into a water fast for 20 days, that's great. And then see, if I was talking to you, I'd say, well, why did you stop? Blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot of things. So Scott, join or get in touch with me right away because you're in the hospital. But join the health and healing group, and then when you get out, you'll be talking to Shannon and see if you can get some help from Oasis. Okay. No, next question. Okay, I got to answer something from Instagram. Right, I have to be fair. Utitam. Utitam นะแม่ใช่ครับอ่ะไม่okay, here's Instagram. Hi, I've been fasting 18:6 for 2 weeks now, breaking the fast with warm water. No, lemon and olive oil. What is your recommendation for that meal after breaking the fast? Here's the thing. Now, who is this? This is Yaphet Yaphetros Siavri. All right. So here's the thing. I hope you were listening earlier when I was talking about fast. They call that intermittent fasting. It's not intermittent fasting. It's eating in healthy proportions. That's not fasting. You don't have your gut hasn't been completely repaired, and it's the same. It's not a fast. Yeah, you haven't even reached the 1 day fast, the 24 hours. 18:6 is healthy eating. All right, so please keep that in mind. So there's no breaking it. Don't break it. Keep doing it. All right, keep eating 18:6. No, I hope you're not eating 18 and you're eating 6. Hope it's not the other way around. But anyway, I'm sure it's not. You're eating 6 hours, you're not eating 18. Well, good. Then what are you eating? You got to be eating human food, hopefully, or something close to human food. Human food does not, there's no, you've been, everyone's been at least to a park or a forest or a jungle. Did you ever see any trees that have packages on them? No. Did you ever see any fish trees? How about any pig trees? No. Remember, hands pick. These hands are not really good. Listen, we're not really good at eliminating another person's ability to remain sentient, right? We're not able to do that. We got to get weapons and tools because we were not endowed to do that. Because why are we not endowed to do that? Because it's not necessary. It's not in our design. All right. So keep that in mind. So if you're eating human food in a 6-hour window and you're not eating anything, that's fantastic. Keep doing it. It's not a fast. Nothing to worry about. You haven't fasted. So please, why don't you go get that book I wrote on intermittent fast. I mean on therapeutic fasting. All right, because it'll really tell you what fasting is and all that. And so if you're if you're doing, it sounds like you might be doing this just because you want to maintain your health and your youthfulness or whatever, or you just want to be healthy. That's fantastic. So you don't want to break that. You never want to stop being. I was trying to be healthy, but I wasn't trying. I was doing part of what's necessary to be healthy for 2 weeks now. That's enough. I'm done. All right. Any more Instagram? Wow. No Instagram questions. Amazing. I found one. Oh, same person. I do the fast to improve my health. I feel good during the fast. I put Celtic salt under my tongue. In the first few days, I had severe headaches, and after breaking the fast, but during, not after breaking the fast. Oh, not when you broke the fast, but during. All right, that's not a fast, as we just said. And when you're going to take the Celtic salt, if you're on a fast, you're actually doing a real fast. You don't do it when you take the salt, put it in the water and you drink it. Putting it on your tongue is probably going to cause irritation under your tongue. And we put things under our tongue so it's absorbed by the veins under our tongue and goes directly into our system and bypasses the GI tract. That's completely unnecessary in this situation at all. Drink it. And the headache was not due to that. Your headache is something else. We can't think if things are temporally related, we can't say that they're causal. Let me say that in English. If things are close together in time, we often assume that they're cause and effect, or somehow, right? So for example, let's say I'm living in Arizona and it's not raining. Can you imagine what a man? So it's not raining for, I don't know, a couple months now, and it's like 114 degrees and everything's dry and all that. So I go up to Sedona and I meet with one of the Native Americans there, and I get instructed on how to do the rain dance. So I go back down and to the Phoenix area, and I do a rain dance. And then in the middle of the night when I'm sleeping, it starts raining. Now, can I? I'm gonna look what I did, right? So those are the things that are low that occur close to them. All right, so you got a headache, and you were doing that, but what else were you doing? You didn't assign it to anything else. What else were you doing? What else were you eating? What else were you doing? How's your bowel movement? All so really, you need some guidance, and what I recommend for you is to join the health and healing group. It's only like $25 a month. And you get access to a lot of stuff, and you have lots of interaction with me, with Darren, and it's well worth it. And you're on a health journey. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And also, as you know, Oasis now is offering a health program, so uh, I think it's a month long. But anyway, but you're on a health journey, so the most economical way to get some guidance would be the health and healing group on at drlodi.com. All right, all right, all right, all right. So here's Amanda. What kind of enema do you recommend? This is back on. All right, enemas. All right, there's two kinds of enemas: cleansing enemas and retention enemas. So the cleansing enema is you can just use water with a little bit of salt in it, not a ton of salt, just a little bit of salt, about the same salinity. You ever had a cut on your hand? You lick it, that tastes like blood. About this, you want to. Now, it's not exact. You're not going to measure it out. You don't have to get a chemistry lab. So you get like a quart of water and put in like, I don't know, half to a full teaspoon. Not even a full teaspoon. About like that. And they use that for the enema because what will happen is if it's got too much salt, it would pull the water out of you. If it didn't have enough salt, like none, it's going to put water into you. So doing that, it's so easy. So you go in and you clean it out, and you use, and what I recommend is you get a comfortable place in your bathroom, a few towels, a pillow. You got the thing hanging off somewhere, maybe near the door, hanging off your door or something like that, and you put your legs up on the door. Lubricate the nozzle with the little speculum they have with coconut oil or some other non-petroleum product. Okay. Rocky and the gang have enough money. What is it? His on Rocky's daughters. Well, Rocky's lineage goes down to a guy named William Henry Gates III, also known as Bill Gates, also known as I know what he's known as. He's known as he who shouldn't be here. Um, so where was I even going with that? Huh. I forgot. See, I got so segued that I lost my way back. That's the problem with segues. You might go down to a deep an alley you can't get back. Anyway, yeah, Billy Boy. What the hell was I talking about? Forget it. Anyway. By he's got what, 62 or no, it's 240. I don't know how many satellites surveilling every inch of planet Earth. Or shall I say, every inch of disk Earth. It's a disk Earth. And these things are not circulating because there's nothing to circulate, right? They're just yeah. But I got something to say. Did you all know that the Earth not only is not flat, it's hollow, and that's been known by the ancients? Did you know that? No, you didn't know that. Maybe some of you might have known that. Check out what Admiral Byrd did. Read a book called Eta Dorpa. Yeah, so, anyway, how did I digress? So that's the cleansing enema. And you do 1 or 2, 3. So you hold it in, and then you let it in slowly, and then as it's going in, you can clamp it off. It feels like you're gonna burst. You clamp it off, and you hold it. If you can hold it, hold it. Maybe massage around a little bit. But if you can't, you get under the toilet and let it out, and come back and start it again. But the longer you can hold it, the more the benefit. Because then, if you can hold it, then you'll be able to. Once it's relieved a little bit, you can allow more in. You do as much as you can, and then you evacuate, and you do it again, because you keep doing that till you clean out. So that's a cleansing enema. Now, a retention enema is after you've done a cleansing enema, because without a cleansing enema, if you put like coffee or even wheatgrass juice or broccoli sprout juice, whatever you put in there, it won't get absorbed because there's going to be feces in the way. It won't be able to get to the wall of the colon and get absorbed. So you do a cleansing enema first, and then you do a retention enema. So a retention enema is something you hold generally for 20 minutes. Why 20 minutes? Because every 4 minutes, the enterohepatic circulation, gut, hepatic, liver. So from the gut to the liver, that circulation, boom, boom, every 4 minutes. And so whatever you retain, you're holding in there. So if it's 4 minutes, that means in 20 minutes, you've got 5. So that's what I recommend with enemas. Port Lucia, Florida. Well, welcome, Tatiana. I'm glad you're here. Here's Kristen. Your comment about probiotics. My vaginal microbiome is disruptive. No lactobacillus, bacilli at all. High in anaerobic vaginitis, bacterium. I'm taking women's probiotics vaginally and orally to restore. In this context, are probiotics helpful? Also seeing a naturopath for herbal tonic, oral, and monthly vaginal irrigation. Whoa, no, Kristen, I'm not sure. Monthly, I mean, how long has this been happening? Because that's a long time. Okay, so you have a vaginal dysbiosis. So keep in mind with any dysbiosis, anywhere, like, okay, every part of our body is full of microorganisms. Our elbow, our forearm, our ear, in our ear canals, nose, in our oral cavity, in our gastrointestinal system, everywhere. They're everywhere because they are how we live. This is the soil in which we grow. So there's no such thing as germs. All right. So you've got a dysbiosis vaginally, vaginal dysbiosis. But you have to realize it's usually not just there, because the rectum and the vagina are very close, and there's a lot of it's a double 4-lane highways, like an 8-lane highway back and forth, right? So there's that, and then the skin flora around there's other you have other organisms on your skin and all that. Okay, however, but in the vagina, it's pretty much there's a lot of I mean, the majority of it is due to the local condition of the vagina, and so like if you're menstruating, so in a menstruating woman, that the relative proportions of microorganisms go up and down depending on what part of the cycle you're in. Do you see it? depending on what because they change, and that's how God arranged it. Did I say that word? I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I said that word. And if you don't like that word, call it nature. Say that. That's not really the whole thing. And if you don't like the word God, it's probably because you're envisioning a guy with a beard sitting somewhere up there. Uh, and it's a guy, so he's got a penis, he's got a white beard, and all that. And that's, of course, I mean, yeah, I don't. That's as possible as Santa Claus. So that's not what I'm talking about. All right, what I'm talking about is the ground of existence, the intelligence and awareness that permeates everything. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, but so it's designed that way because we actually need those germs to reproduce. If we didn't have these germs, women couldn't get pregnant. Can you imagine that? Germs. These are germs. Anyway, so depending on where you are. I don't know if you're postmenopausal or premenopausal, but anyway, cleaning it. Okay, you can douche. You don't need to go to someone to douche you. I mean, it's not like the colonic. It's a very smaller cavity than the colon. You don't need. I don't know why your naturopath would want to irrigate your vagina. I mean, I won't even go there. But anyway, something you can do at home. Um, and you can just use apple cider vinegar if you want, or you can use not pure, you dilute it, or you can use lemon, or just use water. You're just irrigating, all right, and you irrigate it. Okay, that's great. So now you've irrigated it. Now, see, I need to know: are you premenopausal or postmenopausal? It's two different things. If you're postmenopausal, then it's a whole different approach. If you're premenopausal, but anyway, again, don't focus on one part of your body. Remember, your body is a part of a system. My fourth finger is part of my hand. There's no autonomy there. That's the illusion. Um, so do the cleansing and get your whole body healthy, get your gut biome healthy. Do all the things that we talk about, and eat healthy, and then you've got to look for your hormones got to be balanced. Even if you're postmenopausal, there's a way to balance your hormones, so that it's still in a cycling manner, which is a healthy woman. You're not going to get a period if you're postmenopausal, but you might get some spotting if you're cycling correctly. Why are you cycling? Because a healthy woman is a cycling woman. Let's say a 35 to 40-year-old woman is in health, in a healthy 35 to 40-year-old woman, vibrant, alive, energetic, is cycling. And that's how a woman's physiology has come to requires for balance. So that's one thing. That's very important, because remember, the bacteria in there, all the different microorganisms are eating whatever's in there, and the hormones directly influence the glands in the uterus to produce different kinds of secretions, and those become vaginal discharge. But that's actually what they're eating in there. That's why it changes throughout the month. So that's that. And if you're postmenopausal, then you've probably got atrophic vaginitis, which is very thin skin lining of the. And so there's many ways we can do this. So, Kristen, Health and Healing, drlodi.com, drlodi.com. Join it so we can get through this, because you don't. So you've got too many no lactobacilli and high aerobic. All right, got to contact me. Okay, let's go on. Oops, here's a question. All right, here's Amanda. Amanda, I saw your video where you talked about working with our doctor for parasites. I have I have them eyes, ears, nose, mouth. Spoke to Oasis. Can't go to Arizona as I have 9 bulldogs. Any other options to get your direct guidance? I will join the parasite group. Perfect, Amanda, because that's it. That's what I would recommend. Um, and by the way, everybody, what's going on with the parasite situation nowadays, and I say within the last, well, it's accelerated in the last 8 years, maybe 10 years now. And then it's rapidly accelerating um, over the last five years to where we're seeing things that we've never seen before. And first of all, involved is synthetic biology. And what is synthetic biology? That's when you merge man and machine, yeah, or woman and machine. How about human and machine? That's when they're merged. In other words, they're probably at a genetic level, right? And think that the only difference between a computer's operating, the reason a computer can be what it is, and the reason is because of silicon, and the reason we can be what we are is because of carbon. But they're both on the same vertical line in the periodic table, so they both have the same reactivity capabilities. So that's why they have to be the basis of life, whether it's biological life and the basis of structures that can support a system. So they just combine those, and they've done that, as you all know, very well. And no, the gods are not playing tic-tac-toe. Those are what they call sea trails. You know, sea trails? Sea trails, because sea trails. I have to be careful, right? Because we live in a free country and a free world. I mean, oh, beautiful. Anyway, yeah, they're happening, and in there we're finding these things. So I don't know what's happening with parasites, except I know that a lot of them are not. We're seeing things we didn't use. First of all, Morgellons. Anyway, they're no longer. So yes, so now traditionally, old school, we had endoparasites that lived in our gut and went to some of the organs, and we had ectoparasites that came from the outside, like scabies, like and some horrible ones. And so the ecto ones were like crawling around and stuff like that, and crawling in and out of stuff. And the ones inside were, so now we have like, who knows what we have? I don't know. So absolutely, Amanda, get on that parasite group. Whoa, this is Tony. Shingles in the head for several years and still very painful. All right, so just to let you know, shingles is basically chickenpox revisited, and it's our nervous system, our peripheral nervous system. That means not brain, not spinal cord. Those are central nervous system. Our peripheral nervous system has little nodules, or like little centers, nerve centers, out of which things go. And then the ones out here in our skin, they're called dermatomes. So what happens is the problem is on a dermatome. So whatever the word virus is, whatever they're doing. Okay, so there's no viruses can't possibly exist, and they don't exist as that name. But whatever this is, it's on the dermatome, and that dermatome gets awakened. And so shingles will only be down, like you'll either have it on like the left side of a different parts of your face, depending on which nerve, right? It could be here, or across your chest, but it's only going to be one side. and it's blistery and painful, and it's an indication of immune suppression, of immune dysfunction, not dysfunction, but yeah, suppression. All right, so the you got to work on the immunity, and um, I'm sure they put you on Zovirax or some one of its cousins, and did they, when you had first had the acute outbreak, did they um, give you steroids? Because that's often done. But in any case, uh, I don't know. So I'm imagining it's not up here, because when it's up here, it can affect the nerve, the optic process, the eye. Anyway, so that's what it is. And so we got to correct your immune system. And that's by cleansing everything we talk about, eating right, all that stuff, proper nutrients, supplements, uh, and then working on your immune system. How do you work on your immune system? How do you work on it? Well, our T cells, which are the effector cells, all the other cells are produced are made in the bone marrow, and then they are released and they do their job. The T cells are released in a immature condition, and they go to the University of Thymus, right here below your chest bone, where they become um, fully trained assassins. Fully trained. So now they go out and they hang out in the lymph nodes with, the other guys, the B cells and the macrophages, and, they're just hanging out. They have coffee, they strategize. What are they, they're looking for stuff that's coming in from the tissues through the lymph, and they're going to evaluate it. Okay. So while that's in there, if a macrophage or dendritic cell took a bite out of something, they'll bring it in and give it to the T cell, and that becomes an activated T cell. So now you can take care of stuff. But you're not making any more when your thymus shrinks. And by the age of 40, you've only got 30% left. Right? So depending on where you are in whatever your age is and your level of toxicity will determine about whatever functions are left, the functionality of your thymus gland. So there's something called Pro Boost. Oh, by the way, I'm affiliated with nothing except this planet, this body, and the one. Anyway, but I'm not into, I don't have, there are a few products that I like, in fact, that I use, and I'm probably going to start talking about those and let because it's what I use, and because people ask me for recommendations, and I don't, and again, I don't endorse anything, but there's some things I don't want to endorse anything because I don't want to be a salesman. I'm not here to be a salesman. I want to be an educator, or a waker upper. But anyway, Pro Boost, very good. You can get in the powder, or you can get thymosin alpha-1, which is a peptide that the thymus gland usually makes. So it's not a botanical, it's not a drug, it's nothing. It's truly natural. It's something our body makes. Anyway, that will now allow your T cells to mature. Then you got to balance your thyroid and your adrenals, because they are two of the most significant, important managers of the immune system. So if they're not balanced and healthy, then the immune system won't. So you got to do that. And then you've got to take melatonin, because our pineal gland is being attacked. Now, so you do all that, and you learn to turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream. No, just relax, turn off your mind, and that's through meditation. And meditation, for anybody who doesn't like that word, is listening to God, because the reason you might not like that word is because you think you're praying to another God. No. How can I pray to another God if there's only one God? But anyway, meditation is after the prayer. Do not be rude and get up and walk away. Sit back and listen for the answer. That's what meditation is. It's listening for the answer. And that means you got to shut up inside. You got to completely stop, because if you're talking to somebody, let's say you're talking to your child, or somebody, anybody, and you see that they're like, that whatever you're saying is not going to be heard. Same thing. So you need to do that, and there are ways of doing it. All right. So that also takes your foot off the brakes of the immune system. Very, very important. Sleep at appropriate times, movement, all that stuff. So we got to improve your immune system, and your, a lot of B vitamin, the B, and then you can take extra B vitamins. The whole range, but it's not just B1, B6, and B12. It's just all of them. B3, and have enough score base and all that. So this should resolve. There's no reason why it should be around that way. And I know it's painful. I know it's like, I've been with thousands of people. Now, there's one thing you might consider, Tony, and that is, and I'm, and I don't know if an Oasis of Healing would be open to like a couple 2-week treatment or something. You could turn it into a 1-month health, but you can actually do IPT with acyclovir as well. And I did that many times when I was in New York, and it was, we should call it IAT, but it really helped quickly. But those were with acute onsets, but I'm sure with anyway. Lot to keep all that in mind. Okay, so we're losing people. All right, you guys, because I didn't answer. All right, Beverly. Hi, Dr. Lodi. Trying to make a long story short. Good, you started out that way, so it's possible. I have a non-calcified nodule in my left lower lobe of my lung. They ordered a PET scan for me, and since 2023, it has doubled in size and became non-calcified. Wait, it was not. You mean calcified? Anyway, also in my neck area was lighting up. Stan said highly suspicious from metastasizing. Stan. Stan is the name of your doctor? Oh, you meant the scan. The scan? Anyway. This was in January. Since then, I've been on 24 milligrams of ivermectin and 500 milligrams of fenbendazole. My question is, do you feel that that's enough milligrams to make a difference? I'm being scanned again towards the end of September. Beverly. The situation, whatever it is, we're not going to, forget the word metastasize. And don't let them biopsy anything except themselves. All right? They want to say, look, I get it. You really want to biopsy. So why don't you, if it's a male, tell them to biopsy his testicles. And if it's a female, tell her to biopsy her breast. To get that out of him. All right? You don't need it. It's not going to help you at all. It's only going to make whatever there is more troubled, inflamed, and All right. So anyway, you need to act as if this is their CFCs. Act as if they're CFCs. So what are you going to do? You're going to do 100% of healthy living. We have a program. You should join the drlodi.com. Join the CFC group, and we'll be meeting twice a week so we can directly communicate. But there's a whole program you need to go through. All right, and let's have that resolved into not being there without hurting you, without harming you, without making you toxic. That can happen. You're at the point where, and don't let them, you don't need any more scans. Why? You keep scanning for what? Oh, now it's here. Now it's there. Now it doesn't matter. It's whatever. It wouldn't matter. What matters is your body is saying help, and you're going to help it. You're going to help it. You're going to start with biological. Anyway, it's a whole program that I've gone over billions of times. But please join the group, because you don't want this to go any further. You certainly don't want them digging around and, and the only reason I say this stuff is because it's true. There's not another reason. Why would I say something like that? And by the way, can you imagine what would be required for me to make this stuff up? That would be just as time consuming and laborious as studying and reading. I don't make it up. It's all true, but you believe me, you got to start your cleanse. Yeah, and do everything right. There's a lot to do. Join the group, please, because it's way too. You understand the reason I can't answer it is it's everything that we do in. It literally takes about an hour and a half of a discussion about all this, and then you'll say, okay, I get it. But we don't have that right now. And if you join the group, you'll have access to webinars and everything. So it's very, very important. Oh, those guys are leaving. Everybody's leaving. All right. I guess you guys want to say goodnight. Well, we got 2 minutes to take off. Or let's see if there's any more Instagram stuff. No questions, Instagrammers? Instagrammers. Where art thou? Can you imagine if we were back in the 16th century and people said, I only have one pronoun. It's thou. I'm just trying to find one last question from Instagram. Because you guys, all the other guys are leaving. You're jumping ship already. Come on, give me a question. Okay. Okay, Instagram is disconnecting? What? How did this happen? Instagram. Pause due to poor connection. Is that true? Anybody know? On these other groups, anybody know? We're sorry you're like, what? It's not my Wi-Fi because this is working. Can't be my Wi-Fi because Restream is working and it's on Wi-Fi as well. Same thing. It's not that. I think it was, what's his name? I know. I think it has something to do with Fuckerberg. You know that guy? Anyway. Real quickly, Margie, Dawson, lymph node pain, armpit, breast, CFCs, help. Margie, you gotta call an Oasis of Healing or join the CFC group right away because that's just one symptom of what's happening. That's just one symptom of what is happening. But the painfulness, yeah, we definitely have to take care of it. Okay, definitely have to take care of it. So please, I understand it's painful. Let's help you. And you don't want to get poisoned and cut and all that sort of stuff. So you gotta get into our safety net. Okay, that's an Oasis of Healing and or drlodi.com and join the CFC group. Very, very important. What do you mean, why not YouTube? We're not on YouTube? Suzanne, we're not on YouTube? Well, why are you saying why not YouTube? All right, so I don't know what the heck happened with Instagram. Is it back now? I don't know. I don't. What the heck? They shut me off of Instagram. I don't understand. Anyway, listen, everyone. Well, it's been a fantastic 2 hours here, and stay healthy. Be careful. I mean, be mindful of what's going on because it's going on. It's on. All right. um, you know, I don't know what to say, but my name is Chicken Little, and I got to tell you something. The sky is falling. The sky is falling. Yeah. At full speed. All right, you guys. Oh, you were having trouble joining YouTube earlier. I see. Okay, great. How to join what? How to join what? How to join the groups? Go to drlodi.com and find the groups, and you can join them. It's easy. Anyway, so Sawadee Kap, Namaste, Namaskar, and Aloha to everyone. See you next week.